Hey, what's up? So today I'm doing something a little bit different with a friend, and he just got a what year RX-7? 81 FB, and we're pulling the engine apart because, well, I guess it was blowing coolant and oil smoke all over the place, and we're about ready to pull it apart. And one thing that I think is really cool about this particular 12A is that it has all R5 cast irons. Now, for those of you who don't really know what the significance of R5 plates are, which is something I've gone over with the Killer B before, is that they are nitrided. And for old school plates, that's pretty significant because there's only 3 types of old school plates that are nitrided. That is R, without the 5, and all R plates aren't exactly nitrided, but most of them are. So R, R5, and Y cast. And this is also a street ported motor. You can't really see too much detail, but you can see that it does have some porting work. It is a little bit harder to turn. And let's see, we're just doing a quick inspection before we actually pull it apart. So right here, you can see some coolant pulling up. Go ahead and start turning it. So there's a coolant leak right there. All right, go ahead and stop. I'll keep going a little bit. It's really hard to turn. Or we're just gonna assume that it spun a bearing. Okay, so we spent a couple minutes just trying to turn it over a little bit. Was pretty hard, which was just bearing failure, but spun a little bit more and it spins freely. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get 3 distinct compression pulses. 1.
That's coolant though.
2. 3.
Right?
It kind of queefed on that last one.
Well, that's just because the coolant, dude. Oh, am I leaking out of one of these?
Kind of one. Oh, wait, go back a little bit. I don't know if that's a stuck apex seal or not.
That thing's junk.
Seems solid, but might be stuck. Keep going. We got somewhat of a queef.
There it is, it's coming. There's one. You can see the green on the tips of those.
Yeah. Two. Let's try and go for one more. Okay, I think that apex seal is stuck.
Okay.
But good news is no broken apex seals.
So we can unjam that, or do we have to get a new one?
We'll see when we pull it apart.
Okay.
Okay, so engine's on the stand now, and what I'm gonna do now is pop this little thing on to lock the flywheel in place so that we can actually get the nut off. And these are extremely handy. You definitely want to have these when you're breaking this nut apart or loose or whatever. So these you can get from Mazda Tricks or whatever. I think they're like $26 each. This one's for NA. And then you have the Turbo / RX-8 one, which, look at them side by side, they're just different because the flywheels are different sizes. Anyway, we're gonna get that ready, break the nut loose, and then get this off.
All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them? All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them?
Okay, so this rear nut is kicking our asses. So I think we're gonna go back to my storage, get my my blowtorch, and we're just gonna torch it. Yeah, so we'll be back in. Well, we finally got it loose. It was a pain in the dick, but got a blowtorch, and I don't know how much that really helped, but finally got it to budge. All right, so we got the flywheel off pretty easily. All I did was just smack each corner lightly with the sledgehammer and then just leveraged it from the back. Popped right off. So now we're gonna go ahead and get to disassembling. And we got this under here to catch whatever. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna time lapse this and get it apart.
Report.
All right, so first look inside of the 12A, and right off the bat we got some gooey goo. Yeah, that's nasty. I got some shit in my ear too. What the hell? Yeah, it looks like the E shaft may have seen some warpage. I'm not seeing anything broken.
That seal moved. I had to push that back down in.
Oh, okay. I got really confused for a second. I thought that he didn't put another oil control ring in. So it was missing one, but these are not seated correctly. Like, these should not just come out like that. Like,
that's why I was burning, although they look okay.
Yeah, they don't look bad. They don't look like
that's
they
about
would.
halfway.
Yeah.
This is about the point you wouldn't want to.
They look okay. I'd probably send it on 12A, honestly. But yeah, those are not seated. That's not good.
That's why I was burning the oil.
But looking at the housing,
This rotor's cut. That's the color of the rotor.
we'll have to clean it up to be 100% sure, but no broken seals. Doesn't look like anything terrible for a 12A housing. I mean, there's less flaking that I could see versus the one in this engine.
Okay. Yeah, there's not as much, like, you know how they kind of chrome out when they get really oil starved?
Yeah.
There's not as much of that as I thought I'd see.
All right, well, let's go ahead and continue pulling this apart. I'm gonna try pulling the housing off first.
That dowel's pretty stuck in there. So, coolant seal, where'd it blow? That's not
Might
really
not
good.
be these coolant seals.
Yeah, but it was in both housings. Remember?
Oh, yeah, it was in this housing, so it might be on the other side.
Okay. This.
You make them
Okay, so we got the whole motor apart, and let's go over a little bit of what we found. So first off, fuck your bitch and the click you claim. West side on the right, come and quit with game. Anyway, the front stationary gear bearing is bad, a lot of copper on there. So that's a first indication. Looking at the rear, I also got wear on there. And if you remember my Killer B, it was the front rotor that seized to the eccentric shaft. Well, on this 12A, it happened the same except in reverse. So this is seized to the eccentric shaft. So, but not, well,
Wasn't yours seized to the iron?
well, we'll have to look over the iron to make sure there's no like discoloration on the surface. Otherwise, this iron wouldn't be reusable. But also another thing we noticed is that all of the oil control rings were not seated. They all just fell out like nothing, and they should not do that.
That's why it smoked so bad.
Yep.
That and coolant was everywhere inside.
Oh, and this this O-ring is split.
That too.
Yeah. So yeah, all the oil control rings themselves actually look okay to reuse. The housings look to be in good shape. There's some flaking in the exhaust area, but 12A housings, they can have a lot more flaking than that and still be perfectly usable. There's also some scoring on this side, but the porting on the irons doesn't really look terrible or anything. But we're gonna have to clean everything up just to see what's all reusable and salvageable. There's a lot of carbon on those rotors too. Now let's go and look at the ports. A little bit of jaggedness around there, but should be fine. Oh, and let's see what. All right, so just while we have a 12A apart here, I just wanted to show the differences between a 12A and a 13B rotor. This one came out of my RX-5 engine over there, and well, this is obviously a 12A rotor, and look at them side by side. This one is much thinner. We'll put them this way. They're about even on that side. That is the difference in size between 12A and a 13B rotor.
The divots are also a lot bigger on a 12A. They're thinner, but they're longer.
Yeah, and let's see, I don't know all the compression ratios for 12A rotors, but I believe that these are all 9.4 to 1. Okay. All the 12A rotors and stuff. But this one's a 9.2 to 1. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so that was my first time ever pulling the 12A apart, and his first time ever pulling a rotary engine apart.
Yep.
He's a little bit new to rotaries, but he's learning things, and well, he's on the right track with the 12A, but not to a good start with this particular 12A. But we'll see where we go from here. Who knows, maybe we'll turn it into a 13B with some of my other RX-5 parts. But that will have to be for a later day. But yeah, from here, we're just gonna get cleaned up, get all the parts cleaned up, and you know, see what our plan of action is from here. All right, thanks for watching, and see ya.